Good afternoon, everybody. It is Charlie, and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. What a glorious, glorious Saturday it is, or it has been, for Leeds United. A special shout out to Chris Wilder. We love you, Chris. We absolutely adore you today. Just before we get into it, please make sure, if you're as happy as I am, smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. Hit the notification bell. Get your comments in. Check out the membership features. Do me a favour. We're all happy today. We're all in a good mood, apart from Chris Wilder and the Blades. Wait, what's that? Joy Division. Blades are falling apart again. You know what? That could come back to bite me on the arse, but I don't really care. You have got to put yourself out there a bit, and let's be honest, if it was the other way around, we would be getting it a whole lot worse. We are going to come on to our own game and discuss that in a second, guys, but let's just spare a thought for Chris Wilder and the Blades. Jokes aside, what is going on there? What on earth is going on with the Blades? Prior to the last three, they'd won 8 out of the last 9. And then it just feels like a defeat at Oxford is all it took for them to absolutely fall apart. Obviously, defeat at Oxford, defeat at Millwall, or at home to Millwall, and then defeat at Plymouth today. I mean, I'll be honest, I really did not have that down as a Plymouth win at all. I thought all 3 of the top 3 teams would win. Wilder apparently fighting with Plymouth players in the tunnel after the game, which you love to see. And yeah, look, I'm not saying it's done yet, because it isn't. But it feels big. Today feels massive. Absolutely massive. Today means that if the gap is what it is going into Easter Monday, if we beat Stoke at Ellen Road on Easter Monday and Burnley beat Sheffield United at Turf Moor, Leeds United and Burnley will be promoted that day. And if you'd have said that to me after Luton, after Swansea, I would have laughed at you, because I did deep down think it was done. And again, it isn't done yet. And I'm not getting ahead of myself. But like I said, it feels huge, does that today. You could literally, when Plymouth scored their winner, it travelled from the east stand into the cheese wedge, over to where we were in the south, and back to the lower west stand, all around to the west. It literally followed the whole ground, and everybody was buzzing. But then it made for a very, very nervy last 6 minutes of injury time. But we'll get on to the game now. The lineup was expected. I didn't expect him to drop Brendan Aronson, even though I felt he should have done. Thought Aronson was actually all right today in the game, a little bit better, but again, nothing special. Thought Nonto had a good game. To say he was on the wrong side for me, obviously, I think he's better off the left, but so is Solomon, so that's why he's there. But I did think that Nonto and Bogle linked up quite well. Obviously, it was a mental opening sort of 15 minutes, wasn't it? Leeds take an early lead again through Manor Solomon. What a goal that was, by the way. That was very similar to the goal he scored against us for Fulham a few years back, either in the Cup or in the League at Craven Cottage. Very good goal. We've been wanting him to do that all season. Cutting on his right, bend it into the far corner, and what a finish that was. And I'll be honest, we were all probably still celebrating. Preston kicked off, and they literally went straight up to the Cop end and equalised. And we were brought back down to earth again. such an easy goal for them to score as well. It was poor from Leeds, poor defensively. It's a simple ball from the middle of the middle of the park. Sorry, out wide. Their fullback gets on the ball, beats Junior Firpo way too easily. I think Firpo showed him onto that left foot way too easily. And to be fair, there's nothing Darlow could do about that finish. It was a rocket of a goal, and fair play to them for instantly responding. But I still felt Leeds United were the better team even after that. We were pushing the pace, we were creating chance after chance. And then we find ourselves back in front again on the 13th minute through Jayden Bogle. Again, a lovely ball from Solomon into the box, and Bogle does everything he can to get on the end of it, and he does, to put Leeds United 2-1 up. And obviously it ended up staying 2-1, but I really don't know how. It should have been about 7 or 8-1, and that's no exaggeration. Joel Perreault, who I thought was much improved today, thought his hold-up play and his link-up play was a lot better than it was at Borough, where he was just anonymous. But the only thing that he didn't do today was finish his dinner. He had ample opportunity to get to it. He could have quite easily had an hat-trick. So it was unfortunate. I think Gruev had a few opportunities, especially in that second half. I think Nonto had some. There was definitely opportunities. There was definitely opportunities for Leeds United to get more than 2 goals. And yeah, it is one of them. It's frustrating that we didn't score more goals, but at the end of the day, I think at this point of the season, with the context of everything that we're going through at the minute, just get the 3 points, and we did. We actually showed amazing bottle in that second half, because Preston don't have anything to play for, and you could see with how they were playing towards the end there, they weren't pushing the pace a lot, they weren't throwing men forward, they were just trying to get to the end of the game. Leeds looked a bit nervy and frantic towards the end, as expected, but like I say, once we found out Plymouth had took the lead against Sheffield United, every time they hoof the ball forward, we'll just, kick it out, get out, and just push everybody up, play everyone offside. And yeah, I did think it was going to be more of a physical game than what it was. I expected Osmajic to be a little bit nippy and a little bit chirpy with our centre-backs, but it wasn't. It was being surprisingly nice. If he collided with people, he was helping them up. I was thinking, this isn't the Osmajic that everybody knows. But yeah, like I said, Preston, they did knock the ball about quite well at times. They had little spells of possession, but for me, it was never in doubt that Leeds would get that win. I thought we were the better team. It's the first half was probably the best half of football I've seen from us in a while. Second half obviously naturally did dip down a bit. Maybe I'd say probably 60-40 half in Leeds' favour. We just edged it. But like I say, showed a brilliant fight, showed bottle to get that one over the line. And yeah, you could just see what it meant to them. I've used the image in the thumbnail of Joe Rodon at the end. I absolutely love Joe Rodon. Puts his head on everything. Isn't shy to get stuck in. And like I said, I think him and Ampadu have got a real good understanding as a partnership. Pascal Struijk is a brilliant defender and does work well with Rodon. But for some reason, in my opinion, Rodon and Ampadu is the better partnership. It's the better partnership. But let's touch on a few individuals. Jayden Bogle. Wow, what a performance. His best performance in a while. I think in recent games he's not been getting forward as much. He's been a little bit safe with his passing, always passing back to Rodon. But today, the link-up play with Nonto down that right-hand side, he gets his goal. Some great direct runs down that right-hand side. Getting balls into the box was just a real menace on that right-hand side. Junior Firpo I thought was very good in an offensive state, but defensively I did think he was a bit suspect at times. Like I say, for their goal, he should have done a lot better, in my opinion. But like I say, going forward, excellent alongside Bogle. Gruev, I actually thought was really good, was actually getting forward and progressing the ball a lot more, which I liked from him. Tanaka was back to his best as well. Joe Rodon, like I say, great. Perot, a bit more improved, but again, just couldn't finish his dinner. And I thought Pat Bamford did well when he came onto the pitch as well, as did Isaac Schmidt. But Carl Darlow, ladies and gents. It says a lot, doesn't it, about the previous goalkeeper when Carl Darlow just has to catch a ball from a Preston set piece and it is celebrated like a goal. Other teams take that for granted when they have a keeper that just collects balls from set pieces. But, could you imagine if we'd have just made that change earlier? We would be well clear now. We'd potentially be promoted now, or all but promoted, if it wasn't for Melier and Farkas sticking with him. Carl Darlow was immense today. The only thing that he did wrong was where he came out and punched that ball and he got the yellow card. I thought he got his timing well off there. But I'm willing to let him have a moment like that because of the other things that he did. There was one in the first half that he collected from a Preston corner and he's nearly falling over and he still gathers the ball. And then he did it again in the first half. His passing out was really good as well. So calm, and his distribution, so much better. So much better. And this is what we've been wanting for months now. Since Sunderland, since Hull. Like I said, we'd be well clear. We would be well clear. And the Carl Darlow chant is a thing of beauty as well, I must say. But yeah, look, the promotion picture at the minute, I mean, it's looking very, very good and healthy for Leeds United, isn't it? And Burnley. Obviously, Leeds United top of the tree once again on goal difference, but we have us and Burnley both 5 points clear of the Blades. I'll repeat, 5 points clear of the Blades with 4 games remaining. If the gap is still the same going into Easter Monday, we beat Stoke, we would need either a draw or a Burnley win at Turf Moor, which I think both outcomes are likely. I don't see, and again, I could be wrong. Maybe they'll save their best performance for that night, but the way Burnley are at the minute, especially at Turf Moor, I don't see Blades going there and winning. I really don't. I really don't. We could be promoted on Easter Monday with 2 games to spare. And yeah, I've spoken that into existence now. Will it happen like that? Maybe, maybe not. But if we manage to let this go when we're 5 points clear with 4 games left, then that is a monumental collapse. Biggest collapse in the club's history if that happens. Genuinely. So let's hope this is the Sheffield United wobble. Let's hope it continues on Good Friday when they play Cardiff. Big game for Cardiff as well. Obviously, they're fighting for their lives down there, so that won't be easy at all. It could be the case that all we have to do is just beat Stoke and go up on Easter Monday. And it won't even matter what happens at at Turf Moor, sorry. But again, it's all the mental side of it now. It's, all the ifs, all the buts, all the maybes. But yeah, what a Saturday it's been for Leeds United. Top of the table, 5 points clear of the playoffs with 4 games remaining. And we head into Easter weekend now where it could all be done on Easter Monday. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But anyway, let's leave it there, guys. Let's leave it there before I ramble on and say something that will bite me on the backside in a few weeks. So we will leave it there. Like I say, big thank you to everyone that watches in advance. If you're enjoying the content, please make sure that you're liking, commenting, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell, checking out the membership features if you'd like to contribute towards the channel. And I will be back tomorrow night live with a live edition of The Last Say, where hopefully I'll get somebody on, but if not, I'll be getting all your guys' thoughts and opinions on this incredible weekend for Leeds and how you're all feeling going into the Easter weekend. I'll see you then. Have a great Saturday night, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.